everyone. I'm Elaine Quijano. Thank you for joining us for our special coverage of Day 3 of the 2020 Democratic National Convention. The third night of the convention wrapped up Wednesday evening with Kamala Harris making history. The California senator officially accepted the vice presidential nomination. She becomes the first woman of color ever to appear on a major party's ticket. Harris began her acceptance speech paying tribute to her mother and said her nomination was a testament to the dedication of generations that came before her. The virtual night also included moments from two other former groundbreaking candidates, Hillary Clinton and President Barack Obama, who recounted selecting Joe Biden for the top of the ticket in 2008. Meanwhile, Hillary Clinton used her spot to reflect on the 2016 election and what it's like to go up against President Trump. She urged Democratic voters not to sit this year out. Here's some of what you may have missed.
To celebrate my 100th day as a drill instructor, I'm giving out 10 Abaddons. Let's see who are the lucky ones. Here's something for you, a magnate. What do we have here? An Imperior. Here you go. What? This rookie kid got beat up so bad the only thing left is a capsule. Here you go, kid, with a million ISK on top. Let's all go for a ride. Ha 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 ha.
Играйте вы в Экос бесплатно уже сейчас.
I never expected that my successor would embrace my vision or continue my policies. I did hope, for the sake of our country, that Donald Trump might show some interest in taking the job seriously. For close to 4 years now, he has shown no interest in putting in the work, no interest in finding common ground, no interest in using the awesome power of his office to help anyone but himself and his friends. No interest in treating the presidency as anything but one more reality show that he can use to get the attention he craves. Donald Trump hasn't grown into the job because he can't.
Morning after the last election, I said, we owe Donald Trump an open mind and the chance to lead. I meant it. Every president deserves that. I wish Donald Trump knew how to be a president, because America needs a president right now.
As Speaker of the House, I've seen firsthand Donald Trump's disrespect for facts, for working families, and for women in particular. Disrespect written into his policies toward our health and our rights, not just his conduct. But we know what he doesn't, that when women succeed, America succeeds.
This crisis is bad, and it didn't have to be this way. This crisis is on Donald Trump and the Republicans who enable him. Donald Trump's ignorance and incompetence have always been a danger to our country. COVID-19 was Trump's biggest test. He failed miserably.
This administration has shown it will tear our democracy down if that's what it takes for them to win. So we have to get busy building it up. Tonight, I'm asking you to believe in Joe and Kamala's ability to lead this country out of these dark times and build it back better.
As president, Joe Biden will rejoin the international climate agreement, and the United States will once again lead on this critical issue. We have the chance this November to end two existential crises: the Trump presidency and the environmental annihilation he represents.
For 4 years, people have told me, I didn't realize how dangerous he was. I wish I could do it all over, or worse, I should have voted. Look, this can't be another woulda, coulda, shoulda election.
We are at a crossroads. We can let the shooting continue, or we can act. We can protect our families, our future. We can vote. We can be on the right side of history. We must elect Joe Biden.
Let's bring in Nicole Killian, Caitlin Huey-Burns, Major Garrett, Leslie Sanchez, and Joel Payne. Nicole is a CBS News correspondent. Caitlin is our CBSN political reporter. Major is CBS News chief Washington correspondent. Leslie is a CBS News political analyst. And Joel is a CBS News political contributor and Democratic strategist. Once again, how lucky am I? My journalistic and analysis cup runneth over. Welcome to all of you. I want to start off by just going around, getting reaction to the speeches that we heard tonight, of course, from Senator Harris, from President Obama, and from Hillary Clinton. Let me start with you, Major.
So Kamala Harris's speech was, in every way, shape, and form, pure history. But it is pure history in the context of a pandemic. And if there was a time when I know Democratic delegates would have roared at the top of their lungs, it would have been for this historic moment. And I think this speech and the absence of a crowd and the pandemic limitations of a virtual convention are very real, because this is a moment, and I know from some experience what moments like this are like on a convention floor, because I remember being on the convention floor in 2008 when the Democratic Party officially nominated Barack Obama as the first African American to lead a major party ticket in this country. And the sense of emotion, elation, tears, long journey, arc of history, all of that was in every single fiber of the carpet beneath everyone's feet and in the roar of their voice. That's something that could not happen tonight. That's the context around this. And yes, it was a speech of the kind every running mate would give. A little bit of biography, hard hits on the incumbent administration, and an embrace of the presidential nominee. In that respect, it was very standard. But the history around it isn't. And that is something that went through the entire evening tonight. I'll come back with some other observations about things that caught my eye, but you cannot talk about this night without talking about Kamala Harris and that moment.
So with that framework, Nicole Killian, let me ask you, because I know you have been doing a great deal of reporting on the reaction, especially among Black women, to this choice of Kamala Harris. Tell us about what you saw in that speech by her tonight.
Well, I think to Major's point, while we may not have seen everybody gathered on a convention floor tonight, you can all but guarantee that there were women across this country crying in their living rooms as they watched that speech. And I can say that from the standpoint of talking to people who grew up with her, talking to some of her sorority sisters, and talking to stakeholders who have been working for years to get more women of color in elected office. And so to finally see this moment, a moment like this come to fruition, is significant, but also in the people that know her best. One thing I heard time and again, whether it was her congressional colleagues or again, people that she grew up with, was just how authentic she is. And because of her diverse background, how that makes her uniquely positioned for this moment and uniquely positioned to grasp a range of issues that this country is facing right now. And I think you heard and saw all of that in her speech tonight.
Caitlin, let me turn to you. You're also out there on the campaign trail. I want to get your thoughts on what we heard from Senator Harris tonight and also from President Obama. It was a very forceful rebuke by President Obama against President Trump.
What I found striking in these two speeches and from the speech from Hillary Clinton was the focus on voting and voting rights. You heard from the speakers tonight an urging of the audience to get out there and vote, but also noting the roadblocks and barriers there are to voting, especially as we are in the middle of a pandemic. And there are questions about not who people will vote for, but how they're going to cast their ballot, by mail or in person with masks, as Elizabeth Warren talked about. And that's been a theme throughout this convention and will likely continue into the fourth day. Today, also, Kamala Harris noted the 100th anniversary of the ratification of women's suffrage, but she also noted the women who have been left out of our recounting of that history, Black women suffragettes who did not see those full rights recognized.